Oh my goodness. Why, hello, everyone.
Oh boy.
This, this is it. This is the episode we have all been waiting for. I'm including everyone in this we, even the people who may have doubted all the Boyasha stuff. This is our episode. Welcome, everyone, to episode 36 of the What the Sheep podcast, where we will be discussing and breaking down. And honestly, I will be freaking out in particular about episode 126 of Critical Role Campaign 2. Joining us today
Nico,
is
Nico, why are you freaking out? I don't understand. It was a completely normal
oh
episode.
yeah,
Nothing
yeah,
major happened.
chat. Nothing happened in this episode, right? Right? I don't think anything in particular happened. But anyways,
Summoned.
yeah, yeah, nothing particularly was manifested this episode, but yeah, as you notice, joining us for this amazing discussion is the wonderful Kierley. At long last, Kierley is back and ready to discuss. I know.
I want to know when you regained consciousness, Nico. Like, I imagined you just, literally just having to seek medical attention.
I went.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw anime, nosebleed kind of reaction.
Yeah, yeah. I went feral for a bit. I turned into a wild animal, ran with the wolves for a while until I recovered.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, let's listen. Let's not waste a moment further and dive right into this episode. Starting off with the cliffhanger of last week's episode with the dreams, with the eyes. Caleb and Bo now have 2 eye tattoos on their bodies.
Yeah.
What do we make of that?
Oof. Yeah, because we were worried that it was going to be 9 eyes on their body.
Yeah.
This is a little bit better.
Yes. Comparatively to 9, 2 is better. Yes.
Yeah. I'm wondering. Oh, I just want to know how they work because they keep kind of Caleb did. Do we feel any different? Do we sense anything? I'm wondering if they need all 9 for them to work or do anything, or maybe they just don't know. Maybe it's this power that will just become innate with them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's it's cool. The shoulder blades and the tattoo positioning.
Oh
man, it's really cool.
Yeah, Bo's tattoo right on her original tattoo of Molly's, pyramid that he had back there.
It's weird how he described them too, because he had described them like this before, but the fact that they curve with the skin, they look like a tattoo, but they're completely smooth. So it isn't a brand, it isn't a tattoo, it is actually almost like a physical thing that is on their body. That's cool. I want to know more about I just want to know everything. Just tell me, Matt.
I know, yeah. Just give us the manifesto of everything that's,
It's fine. I won't tell anyone, I promise. I don't have a CEO discussion podcast. It's all good.
Yeah, give us a sneak peek into your magnificent mind.
Yeah.
Do you think they will be able to find the power of them and harness some of that power for
if they don't stop the Tomb Takers soon and stop the Somnovans soon, it's clear that the eyes are going to keep progressing, and so I think it's safe to assume that eventually they will either be consumed by the Somnovum or they will actually get powers. But I'm not sure. Again, we don't know. Do they have to fully buy into it? Do they fully have to sacrifice their mind, body, and soul to gain these powers? Or do the eyes just act as the powers themselves, and they don't have to be as devoted to the cause as Lucian is?
Because they've talked about it a lot too, and it came up a few times this episode of can you connect with the Tomb Takers? Can you connect with Lucian? Can you manifest things with your dreams? And Bo each time said, I've thought about it, I haven't tried. And then the times when they did try were kind of a bit playful. I'm not sure they were fully trying. I want to see if they do actually take a moment to meditate and reach out to Lucian in their mind, if they can make a connection. Make a connection to Somnovan. Not thinking they should. that sounds terrible, but I think it might work because I don't know, like when they're talking about like reaching out, making connection, Matt was like, I mean, he's always paying attention, but like
Yeah.
I felt like he was getting ready to respond if they did. I just, yeah, I agree that it's a bad idea, but I want to see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I find it
This should be
interesting the way
catchphrase
both
our
of their
show.
characters are like keeping it really, like the fact that they didn't mention it to Allura. I get why they didn't mention it to Yusa, and I kind of get why they didn't mention it to Allura, because even though in the meta we have like full knowledge of her whole deal, like they don't, so it's still an iffy person.
Yeah.
But it still feels like, ooh, and Essex, you know, also kind of iffy, but I'm finding interesting in character, like the fact that they're kind of a little bit blasé about it. Like we dip into finding out about it. It kind of each episode we kind of remember, and then the episode goes on, and a little bit that's probably just like there's literally so much happening, but part of that makes me think there's like a character thing of both of them either pushing it out of their minds or have like another idea of how they're gonna like deal with it, because it just seems amazing that they seems very chill about it.
We talked about that the last time it happened, I think, because the episode where they got the eyes was then like the was that like the Geldon fight and the Tomb Taker fight episode? Like the start of the episode was them revealing the eyes, and I remember that what the sheet before that episode were like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Like,
yeah,
what's the meaning of all this? And then it's like, oh, forget about it, because there was a dragon and they stole the bag of holding and we're running. Same thing this episode a bit thing, like it's like, oh no, what happened? Oh my god, oh, let's go talk to Astrid. Like it was kind of, as you said, yeah, things made them quickly forget about it. I think once they realized they were currently safe and there wasn't a pressing danger, it's more like the ticking clock aspect of it. But we don't know what Matt's said to Liam and Marusha off the table. Like there might have been a conversation of like, this is something you're feeling, but I think it's probably more just like, this is telling you that there is limited time here, and you need to move quickly.
I'm wondering if the effects of, I don't know, because kind of like what Killer's saying, they're it feels like they're a little lax about it. Like I think it'll take something severe rather than just new eyes appearing for them to be like, oh shit, maybe we should like figure this out, maybe we should deal with this. But I'm wondering, again, this is just pure speculation, but I'm wondering if the effects are already happening. Like I'm wondering if the eyes make them more impulsive or more willing. I guess impulsive is just the perfect word for it. It's probably me reading too much into it, but for me, it felt that Bo and Caleb were a bit more expressive this episode and a bit more willing to take a risk in this episode. So I'm wondering if there is a conversation that's happening like behind the scenes. If Matt's like, so these eyes are emboldening you a little bit. They're making you feel more capable, that you can manifest these things you're thinking about.
The person who I like tweet with while I'm watching, Sarah, I said to her, something's up with Liam. Something's up with Liam / Caleb, because he's so much softer. He's so much more playful. Like there's something happening at the start of this, like in this episode, like he's flicking forward and like he does do all those things. But if you watch just the start, he's just so like, I don't know, there's just something. He's very, very like soft, and that could just be nothing, or it could be like just how they were feeling that day.
That's what I was thinking too.
But that's not what this discussion is about. This discussion is about the galaxy brain, and I agree with you. I think it feels like it's having effects.
Yeah, definitely.
I like Daniel Sandifer in chat said, I don't think stopping Lucian will stop this.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah,
Lucian's just the middleman.
Yeah, I don't think it's a matter. They're gonna have to do something to the Somnovum. There needs to be some destruction or breaking of connection, or like destroying the book. But that feels like a bit too easy. But yeah, I don't think it's as simple as like one fight, and then that it's fixed. But yeah, that's a really good point.
Because now, Adam was talking a little bit about the idea that they could be linked to the Somnovum. I think they already are, because then that the idea of stopping Lucian and the Tomb Takers isn't going to magically sever their connection to the Somnovum. The Somnovum are still an active threat, while there may not be a group of people actively trying to unleash them on the world. They are still there. They are still connected to Bo and Caleb with the eyes.
And if anything, if they kill the Nonagon, that might accelerate their process more as the Somnovum search for a new Nonagon. I will just point out too, I just read Adam's comment. We simply don't know enough to make any safe assumptions. Adam, have you seen our show?
Yeah.
That's what we do.
This is what we do here.
Yeah, I just thought that. I was like, no, we make them all the time. It's fine.
Yeah. But are they? I wouldn't even call them assumptions. The things we say are factual and true. They always happen.
We speak. So, we manifest our dreams into.
We are the Somnovum.
We are the Nonagon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, heck, gotcha. Yeah. Wait. The eyes.
But they're right. Like, we just don't know, and that's one of the things that's incredible. I feel like about this, and maybe it's because I watched the first campaign afterwards, so a lot of things were sort of spoiled or whatever. But like the intricacy and like little red cord of this campaign feels like so much more than last one, and I still actually don't know what's happening. Like,
yeah.
I've made compilations about the lore. I've like made a whole moon thing. I still have no idea what is happening. And it's the best feeling ever. I love it so much.
Yeah, no, that is interesting. That like it feels overwhelming, the odds that the Mighty Nine are up against. And while we do know an extent of what's going on, we know Lucian's deal more or less. We kind of know what the Somnovan are. We kind of know what the Somnovan are wanting to do. But at the end of the day, like there's still, there's like certain pieces of this puzzle that we're missing to see the bigger picture. And as always with our theories, I think that missing piece is no other than Tharizdun, obviously. I mean, let's be real. Who's the all-consuming dark? Who's the OG all-consuming darkness who wants to unleash chaos onto the world and destroy the fabric of reality as we know it?
My OTP is this campaign in Tharizdun. Like, I am all aboard the Tharizdun train. Yeah. In case you didn't know, guys. But like, yeah, damn it.
If there is ever merchandise for the What the Sheep podcast, we are going to have a Tharizdun shirt. It'll just be like it all goes back to Tharizdun.
Yeah.
In the end, we're all Tharizdun. What's the link between Tharizdun and the Crawling King? They're not the same?
No.
They're but two betrayer gods, or we don't know. We don't know what the Crawling King is.
Technically, Tharizdun is an elder evil, but he is also a betrayer god. But he's like even the betrayer gods were like, oh, Tharizdun. Like,
yeah.
So the Crawling King, Torog, he was just a regular betrayer god. He was like a fiend or a demon or a devil from the lower planes. Yeah.
Creepy.
I'm not sure if they did much together during the Battle of the Virgins.
Probably not. Can't imagine they sang many campfire songs with each other.
That would be amazing, though.
He was defeated during the calamity by the Dawnfather and the Everlight. Man, they love defeating.
And that isn't that what caused was that in the Barb Fields? Was he the one no, that was Asmodeus, I think.
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a Lynn question. Lynn?
That's a Lynn question.
I don't even know if Lynn's here tonight. Oh no. What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
I haven't
Chat, we're so lost. I mean, we all know the answer. We're just for chat's benefit.
I don't know. The lore is so deep. Gosh, this must be. Imagine, like, there are people who just start watching just what they find Critical Role and they just start watching the live show that's live when they start watching. I just cannot imagine how impossibly dense the lore is at the moment to start, like, just dive in right now. Like, I'm so invested and I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know what's going on.
This is just another reason why I have to start my lore video series. Oh gosh.
Well, yeah. That's a great idea.
I could do a deep dive into the history of the Calamity and the Age of Arcanum and all that stuff. Get people caught up. Great. But anyways, we had a few lovely messages that Jester had sent early on in this episode. One to
my god.
One on a more serious note to one to Astrid, and then the other to the Clay family.
That might be her best in terms of breaking the cast.
Yeah.
And breaking me, because holy crap, that was the funniest shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that in like big letters on my notes. I was like, we got to talk about that sending message. But yeah, so she messaged Astrid. That was all kind of like, yeah, because even the message was weird from Astrid. It came back with like, tell Bren thank you, or tell Caleb thank you. Like, straight away they're like, what? What the hell
what does that mean?
Like, yeah, but the message to goddamn Cornelius, just like, I've
been doing some weird shit with Caduceus.
Yeah. Oh my god. And God bless him, like his response, like, no creepy stuff. Like, yeah, it's such like a dad response.
What are your theories on that connection? The forest, the corruption connection.
I think it's just it was just a warning for Caduceus. I didn't think that the Grove was in immediate danger. I think it was more just like a premonition of this thing is bad, it's getting worse, you need to stop it.
And that was more or less confirmed then later on when Jester communed with the Traveler and asked a similar question, was like, hey, is everything all right in the Grove? And he's like, for the time being, everything seems to be fine. But definitely more of like a bad omen of what could potentially happen if they don't stop.
Why can I never remember the word omen?
Yeah, I think last week you struggled with it either.
You need to put a little
bad premonition.
Yeah.
Next to where you've got your like different temperatures and your different distances for DMing different people from different places.
Oh man.
Do you think that it's just confirmation from the Wild Mother that like this is something she cares about? He should keep fighting this thing because it's like it's bad and it's bad on a scale that she wants it to be fixed.
I think so.
They were like experimenting on living beings, so.
Mm-hmm. And also, I brought up this point in a previous WTS episode where, the Wild Mother and nature is all about the natural order of things, and this Novum, this entity, is the complete opposite, polar opposite to the natural world. So the Wild Mother's probably like, yes, please stop this. Thank you. Please and thank you.
Yeah. Please and thank you.
But then we, after all the messaging antics, the discussions of the eyes, and the playful creation of the hat above Bo's head, we got a little bit of a shopping episode-ish.
Yeah.
Everyone got to do a little bit of shopping. and we got. I love how vulnerable and like open with her emotions Bo was this episode, particularly with Beth buying the flower, and then being like, "Oh, I got this flower for you to give to Yasha," and Bo just like, "Oh, this is so good. It was so good."
No, that was really sweet, and like Bo kind of getting dressed up, getting a bow tie, I thought was really cool. Beth was really cool this episode, I think, because like it was Sam acknowledging the trolling, like even though the trolling's fun, but it was acknowledging the trolling and like kind of closing it off, I think, like finishing it by saying like, "Oh no, I got this. I asked Yasha on a date too," kind of implying he did that for Bo. But I think it worked out really nicely. It was a very sweet scene between them.
I loved Sam's advice of on the date. His advice was like, plan a moment, and like Sam, sometimes I want to headbutt him lovingly, and I'm like, just stop what you're doing. But that was like the fact that he can bring it back to things like that. And he's like, plan a moment where you like actually say your feelings and like open up and really connect. And I was like, oh, that's such good date advice. Plan a moment. The date can be just all whatever, but just have your moment, and then you can go back to, just having fun. But plan your moment. I loved that. And she, had plans.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was really sweet.
But we do have some exciting things for Beth on the horizon, as she did purchase 2 fluffernutters.
Oh my god, fluffernutters! They're so cheap.
Yeah. Beth is going to be too powerful.
Also very unreliable. Very unreliable.
Yeah.
They're terrible. They're terrible.
But there'd be a Tinker Tools check, which she's proficient in, or whatever kind of check.
And I don't think reliable talent.
You can't get below a 10.
True. So we about to get some.
Well, that might be expertise. I'm not sure. Don't know.
Oh, maybe. Oh, but I'm so excited. When's the last time we've seen a fluffernutter? Was it Rumble Cusp? I think they used a fluffernutter in Rumble Cusp. In the cavern with all of the boats, I think?
Maybe, yeah. Lucian killed by fluffernutter. That'd be amazing.
Oh.
What a way to end that arc.
What a way to send off Lucian.
Yeah.
That would be
another false prey to the fluffernutter. Fabulous.
It's that peak Adventure Time flavor of Critical Role, where it's like it's like deep theory, deep like high fantasy fluffernutter. Like it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
It's so D&D.
It's deeply D&D. It's deeply D&D that Matt just let them have a Napoleon hat. I was listening to that this morning where I'm like, I love that Matt is a DM that cares so much about his world. Like, he literally has whole adventure books. He has now somebody on his staff just for collating the lore of his world, and they're like, it's a Napoleon hat, and he's like, okay, it's a Napoleon hat. Steve Napoleon, sure. Napoleon hats exist. Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Leah says he's going to kill Kat again.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
It's coming.
I forgot about that. That's bad.
Caduceus's days are numbered.
Yeah. What else are they about? They bought a bowl for Hero's Feast.
Yeah, the 1,000 gold chalice that Bo put in the money for. And I loved as Adam has just mentioned the ring of fire resistance.
Yeah.
How much did it go for? Like what was 500 gold, 400 gold?
500 was the highest offer they were given from the scam artists.
out of a 5,000 gold that was put into it. It definitely felt very, very high when he first bought it.
This was a kind of like a forward bullying episode a little bit in a very fun way.
Yeah, especially early on in the episode with the chest slapping, the titty slapping, and the brand. Yep.
Yeah, I think if they went to a legitimate magic shop and got it properly appraised, they would get closer to the 5,000, probably not the full 5,000 back. But I think that's something they should hold on to. The problem is it's attunement for like one specific thing. But you know, what are you gonna do? He bought it, so
yeah, he's got to live with his mistakes. Ford seems to have to do that a lot.
Love that we're getting the dynamic of Laura and Travis role playing
which is what
that together. Though
relationship looks like.
Yeah,
incredible, just like a whole flavor of role play that like is just new and it's beautiful. I love it so much.
It feels like their relationship is kind of that one like in your friends group that they've always kind of been into each other the whole time, and when they do go official, it's just like normal. Like it's just like, oh yeah, it's like we've been dating this whole time, because it's like their relationship is there in the open. Everyone's cool with it. It's just going on, and it's like they're an old married couple because they are a married couple. But like it's funny. Like they just it's so natural for Ford and Jester to be in this relationship. They're open about it. They're not kind of like, I think when it happened, Jester was like, ooh, but now it's all very much just like, yeah, we're dating, which is good that they're playing so casual, because I'm not sure how they could top a date like what happens later in the episode.
Impossible.
Not that it's a competition, but what the hell. That's true. Sorry, Ford did pay 4,500 for the 5,000 ring. I know that.
Gotcha. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. And they got the name of the person. Anyway. Yeah.
I just Caleb bought some amber, Nico, and I like rocks. Can I tell you a thing about amber?
Of course. Hear it.
Amber's cool because the way that you find amber is that you go fishing for it because it floats. And so in the Baltic Sea, that's where like there's a giant forest that have been like covered with water. And when there's a big storm, you can go out with nets and like skim amber off the top of the water. Not so much anymore because there isn't that much, which is what I keep thinking when he buys amber, because there's a lot of fake amber out there.
It's like helium running out.
Man. Anyway, thank you. I'll shut up now.
You go to the
that's super cool.
amber mine and find some dinosaur DNA. I've been watching a lot of Jurassic Park.
Oh, so good. This is now this is now a Jurassic Park podcast.
Oh,
by the
Nico,
way.
Please don't do this, because that will go on for hours.
Favorite Jurassic Park movie? Go.
The first one.
There we go.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. And then the second. Okay, no. Yeah.
Then the deeper meaning of life when the third one comes in, and it's just.
I will say.
For
Jurassic Park comment, the second Jurassic Park movie has the most brutal death, I think, of any sympathetic character in any film I've ever seen. If you haven't seen the second movie, I'm not going to spoil it.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
It's the worst death of any sympathetic character in any film I've ever seen.
I'll be honest, I skip it. I skip it when I watch it.
It's the worst. Anyway, back to
you. Anyways.
Adam has mentioned the fact that Caleb bought those 2 books and that they might show up in the tower. Back to Critical Role about that's another soft moment from Caleb this episode. That was beautiful, him sort of diving in. He doesn't really try and touch his childhood much and dive back in there, and that was a really beautiful moment.
I thought he was going to give the books to Astrid as a present.
Honestly, me too. I was like, oh, this would be kind of cute, like giving her these gifts is like remember our childhood when we read these? I thought, that'd be kind of a cute gesture. But
I think they're for Luke.
Yeah, that's little gifts for Luke. Oh my god, could you imagine little Luke, multi-classed rogue transmutation wizard?
Oh,
that'd be so sweet.
That'd be so good. That'd be so good.
Yeah, because they keep talking about presents for Luke. I'm fairly certain Veth bought that little antler hat for Luke as well. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
But then, did anything else happen during their shopping adventures?
Oh yeah, Yasha bought the oil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also for a crap ton of gold. Holy moly.
Yeah, but that was really good roleplay because I'm fairly certain Ashley was very much like, yeah, I'm getting ripped off here, but I think Yasha was very much like she played that well because I struggle with that if I'm playing D&D of if I know I'm getting ripped off, but my character doesn't, it's just like no.
Yeah.
Oof.
But hey, I mean, at least they're going to be. They have some uses of being invisible to scrying, which could help at some point. It's not a total loss.
The crow in chat said ivory from Jester. We know what the ivory's for, right? That's
legend lore or something.
That's right.
Yeah, I think so.
We haven't gotten a legend lore in a while. I think the last time we got it was for the sword, right? The Star Razor?
Yeah. I think Allura technically did kind of like a legend lore when they did the group scry on Yasha. I think that was kind of like a
the beacon as well.
Spell. Did they do it on the beacon?
I'm gonna check.
The chat's saying.
I'm gonna check. I'll look it up.
Oh yeah, someone else did it. Someone else was like, "Cool, let me look at this item," and then cast it and like, "Oh, this is da 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 da." Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Regardless, they have it. We have the ivory now. So, but what do you think she's gonna do legend lore on? The Somnovum, probably. Do we need like a piece of them, or can you just like cast like I want to learn about the Somnovum and then boom, cast the spell? I'm not really sure how legend lore works.
I think you need an item. I'm looking it up.
Ooh, yeah, would the eyes count as an item?
I guess D&D Beyond. You need. Nope. Doesn't say anything.
Oh, the threshold crest, maybe. Oh.
Just name or describe a person, place, or object.
Huh.
Yeah, because she got some information, obviously, about the city from that sitting stone thing that she went into. Yeah, I don't know if legend lore though specifically gives you like a detailed background or a brief summary of the significant lore, which is background of it. So
would that even be useful at this point then? Because I feel like they have like a good summary of history of the Somnovum.
Need to know more about what's going to happen than what did happen. I think it'd be interesting to know like what physically happened to that part of Aor. I think my theory, we've talked about it, is like it separated from Aor, it bamfed out to the Astral Sea, and then Aor crashed. But like that would be interesting to know, like, it just disappeared, then what happened to it in the Astral Sea that caused it to like change, who's involved maybe. But if it's just like, it's Tharizdun, you're gonna be like, okay, cool, we kind of had an inkling anyway. I think the more important information is like what is currently happening. So maybe if they did legend lore on like the Nonagon or something, like something more specific to the activation of what Tomb Takers are doing. Yeah, it's tricky. I don't know.
So they did legend lore on the Luxon. That's the other one. So they did it on the sword, and they did it on the Luxon, and that's.
When did they do that? When did they do it on the Luxon?
Ages ago, episode 77. Okay.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
When they were doing all that research.
Gotcha.
But I think the thing that we're getting confused with is that Jester, it's the information they get from Commune is really like, yeah. Anyway, that's where I'm getting confused.
Commune is such a clutch spell.
Yeah, they should just be using it every single day.
Yeah, it gives you at least some idea of your path ahead. I think they use it a little bit outside its realms of what it can do, but I think it's canon at this point in the game that's how it works. But like, yeah, it's so clutch. I liked that Caduceus didn't want to use it for like talking about Astrid and Trent. Like skipping ahead, sorry, I'll do it just a to like where they're talking about like, should we go after Trent now? He's like, I don't think the Wild Mother's going to be keen on me discussing these things with her, which is a really good point. Yeah, you call up your like your good deity, like, hey, should we go kill this person right now? Like,
yeah, you go to the shady person for that stuff.
Response. Yeah, exactly.
I think Matt sort of instills that as well. Like they, both those deities, I say in air quotes because the traveler is not that. But
thank God.
but I think something that I find interesting and that I just haven't really done in my games is like he keeps their knowledge to their sphere of influence, so they're not like they're not like all knowing, which I think, or sometimes they might know, but because it's not their sphere, they like don't answer the questions in a straightforward way, or so. But definitely the traveler is like no, and I think that sort of directs the players a bit to like what's worth spending that on and what's not.
Yeah, and it's only a 3rd level spell, isn't it? I've had it 7 commune.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
It's pretty low stakes in terms of bamfing it out once a day. Oh, that's not how you spell it. I think it's 3rd level.
Oh,
I think it's the type of thing as a DM, if your players overused it, it would end up it would end up being there'd end up being a problem with like, I don't know, with your god. Like your god would like call into question your ability to make decisions for yourself or something like that. Like
yeah, no, I think it's cool. I just love that we get to have like Artigan actually pop in and have conversations.
It's so good. I love seeing Artagan.
Yeah, I feel like because also like he gets to communicate outside of the realms of the spell as well. So we do get this fun role play between him and Jester and him and the rest of the Mighty Nine. But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
it is fun. But you know what was not fun? Learning about the all the stuff that's going on with Astrid and the gang.
I held my breath that entire time.
Yeah.
Just the entire time.
I was just waiting for something to happen. Like, that whole scene was beautifully narrated, and the particular character choices that both Astrid and Caleb were making in that moment were just so good. With like looking around, the switching between leading and following with the dancing, keeping tabs on the rest of the party, the things that were discussed. It was a very subtly intense scene because, at service level, there's dancing. People are watching the scene take place. They're just dancing, having a good time. But the things that they're talking about are pretty severe.
Yeah. That was I wasn't actually too stressed during the dance hall for some reason. I felt like it was pretty chill. I was more worried that someone was watching them like through scrying, but I suppose that if they both have the necklace, they're pretty good. Or at least she has the necklace attuned. So that revelation that like there's Volstruckers we're following them, that Luminous is onto them, is probably scarier, I think, than the concept of like Trent following them. Because Trent following them, you're like, oh, creepy dude, with like he's got his own weird shit going on with Brent. But Ludinous following them means Ludinous thinks they're a threat, which is terrifying. That's terrifying. To the point where like the Volstruckers got into Isocross, like they were following them up to the mountains. That concerns me the most.
I watched it twice and I still could not get if it was Astrid and Aelwulf or somebody else.
I don't think so. I think it was other.
But was it like, I couldn't, with the pronouns and everything, I got very like, they didn't sort of explicitly say.
I think she said you're being followed by Volstrucker. I think if it was her and Aedwulf had done it, I think she would have said we had followed you. I think she was being kind of explicit that it was like some other agents.
Yeah.
And I think even though Astrid and Aedwulf are Volstrucker, were trained as Volstrucker, I think they're kind of above that level anyway at this point. Like they wouldn't necessarily be sent off.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's what I think anyway.
Also, while they were dancing, it crossed my mind, and then I felt so vindicated later, was that like Matt uses passive perception all the time. Like there are just characters that just are like Caduceus doesn't have to say he's looking around and he just sees things, right? Yeah. So Astrid would have huge, like she's a highly trained spy. She doesn't have to like do like these things, like carefully looking over people's shoulders and being really obvious to like have situational awareness of the room. So this is my galaxy brain thing where I was like, why is she being so obviously careful when she's like, she wouldn't walk into this place if she thought there was a problem. Like she's got this place all sussed out. And now I think it was all, she was pretending to be extra careful. It was all an act.
Yeah. But I think that's the thing with passive perception. Like it's, you can't actively passive perceive. It's either because I think Caduceus, as you said, like he would have been actively perceiving in that scene. It's just it never came up for him to kind of interject. I don't think he would have been like leaning against the bar, kind of just looking off, and then Matt would be like, "Oh, you would notice this because of your passive perception." I think everyone in that scene was actively keeping an eye out. Whether or not it was an act for Astrid or not,
No, other way. I think as in Astrid was acting.
Yeah. An act for Astrid. Okay. Yeah. I don't think so. I think she was very much like legitimately now you got me thinking.
Yeah, man, I know. I think it was an act. She walked in there, she has feelings for him, but
to make it seem more clandestine, she's like looking around and being like, "Oh, I shouldn't be doing this," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, she's fully setting him up.
I agree. I feel like this is kind of what I think. I think back when they met them the previous time, and the whole race you to the top thing that Astrid had said, I think that was her being genuine. Like she really wanted to, take down the establishment and all that. And I still think that's what she wants to do. Yeah. However, I also think that Trent probably caught wind of this and very well knows that Caleb wants to see Trent removed. But I feel like Trent still has uses for Caleb and still wants to manipulate him in any way he can. And I feel like Trent thinks that the best way to do that is through Astrid. So now, while Astrid was wanting to go along with this plan to remove Trent from power of her own, free will, now Trent is using that desire and now making her make Caleb wants to be a part of it as well, to get him into a vulnerable state where Trent can do whatever he may be planning to do. And so now Astrid is like conflicted where she's like, well, I do really want to take down Trent, but now it's at the expense of Caleb because Trent wants something to do with Caleb. That's kind of like that's what I'm thinking. I think she's lying and being set up as well, and it's still a trap for Caleb. I think Trent is still trying to manipulate.
You know how you said if they take out Lucian, then the bigger story is still the city is still a problem. I feel that same way with Trent. Like, I would like him to die a painful death, and that would be great. But the whole established, like I think Caleb said, like Lucian is okay with what Trent's doing. Like, the whole establishment is still there. So if he's gone, I actually think maybe Trent doesn't care potentially that much about his own longevity. Like, I think there's potential that like he wants Caleb, especially because he's like the one that got away. No, but I think he wants Caleb or he wants one of his, one of his people, one of his like key top students to take over. And it actually doesn't matter if they kill Trent. I think probably Astrid's in too deep. She's too much. She's like a full believer. And even though I really, really want it to not be true, and I think they're very, very cute, all three of them, I really, really do just think that, like, honestly, if he has to get rid of Trent, he might have to get rid of Astrid.
What if? Here we go.
Okay.
The tinfoil hat is on. What if Trent is one of Halas's clones?
Oh no.
That would explain the jaundice. That would explain the jaundice. There it is. You heard it here first.
He might have kidney disease. That might explain the jaundice. Yeah.
Sure, why not? Anything's
yeah, cool. That's it. Canon. I think I really want to believe this is she came there of her own volition. Like, even if Trent knows something is up, she was still like being legitimate to Caleb, saying like, "Look, the time's now. That it's a confusing time. Now would be the time to strike." I think it was Ford that said when they were discussing it later, like her looking upset in the alleyway. Is it because she was upset about seeing Caleb, or was it upset because she's betraying him and being set up? Like, I think we talked about last week the fact that the Cobalt Soul and the Empire are like moving on the Cerberus Assembly, or like they're building a case against the Cerberus Assembly. We said like Ludinus isn't going to be like, oh shit, I guess I'm arrested now. Like,
yeah,
he's not going down without a fight. I am excited to think that what if the Cerberus Assembly goes down because the Mighty Nine are hired or like have to join the Empire to take them out. That would be a legitimate reason for them to take them down. Yeah. But I also think it's very much the thing of, if they take out Trent, they can be pinned with the murder of two Cerberus Assembly members. When Ashton's like, okay, well then I'll assume the role. I'm not. I don't know. I kind of want it to be that she wasn't sent by anyone, but I don't think we can obviously rule it out. It's a very real possibility, just because of what we know about Trent, how much he is a puppet master. I think it would be foolish to think that's not a possibility. But I really hope it's just she just wants to kill the old man, and wants Caleb to help.
I missed it, but somebody in chat said because like the Cobalt Soul has information about Yasha, because Yasha killed a bunch of them, so there's a file on Yasha, and they were like, well, what if there's a file on Astrid and Wolf, which there almost certainly would be.
Oh yeah.
It made me think, like, it's interesting to think about them really trying to like get all the information and make a plan, but there's a frigging city coming back to the planet from the middle of the
They've got so many things to worry about.
This transitions then onto the conversation with Caleb and the Mighty Nine, but Caleb and Veth. And it's been like, because we talked about it was on the Talks Market episode where, like, I think Sam brought up how we've been like scratching at Caleb's backstory for so long, and then something else comes up, and I think this was Veth or Sam at least trying to be like, no, we can do this now. Like, if you say the word, we'll dive into your backstory, sort of thing. To the point where we got some freaking excellent Caleb roleplay. We've had sad Caleb for so long. Like, we had really happy Caleb, and then we got Caleb kind of distracted and sad again. But this was like return to kind of form of angry Caleb talking about his past, and I
he
love it.
It's so good.
He ruined my life, and I
fucking helped. That was such a good scene. I had like tears in my eyes. I love it when he gets angry and shouts like that.
Like, ooh, express yourself
like,
more.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. Sorry, guys. But yeah, goosebumps is the best way to describe it, just Jolene. Absolutely. Like, because I think that was a bit of like an emotional release for Caleb, because he's very much like, yes, I want to do this. I know, Veth. Like, I know. All right, I get it. But we need to do this. And it's so true. Every time they get close to Caleb's backstory, which or dealing with it, it's like, shit, there's something more important we have to do.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Oh yeah, like, I'm just gonna rewatch that little clip like 10 times.
That was good.
Anytime Liam goes off like that.
But again, it's nice. It's nice that Matthew is bringing back and setting up these future story arcs. Because, you know, for a little bit, we were like, oh gosh, is this Isocross thing the last story arc? Like, no, there's no way it can be. And so now, with all of these new potential story arcs, you know, the Grove, which could still just be linked to the Some Notebook and all that stuff. But with, you know, the investigations that the Kryn Dynasty are doing into Essek, and then Ludinus investigating the party and the whole Trent thing, there is still a lot of this story left to tell once they deal with the Somnovum.
The thing is, this campaign has been like so much about gray areas between good and bad, and I'm very intrigued to see whether or not one of the sort of, I don't know, one of the crystallizing things is going to be, well, they can't completely take out the Cerberus Assembly because they're going to need Astrid Eardwolf. They're going to need the I want to say the Bright Queen. That's not right. Is that right? What's the name of the queen? The queen of the Jorhas.
Yeah, the Bright Queen. Yeah.
Okay, the Bright Queen. Yeah, they need basically like all of these incredibly powerful, if evil, people to like the thing that they're fighting is so big that
they haven't made it to the Bright Queen yet. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's potential that they need like good, bad, totally evil being Trent all the way to the gray to like just keep everybody somehow in like in a group.
I think
to fight.
They didn't want to tell Essek about Aor and the Somnovum because they were worried he would go power mad for it, or they were worried that he would be influenced by it. Like and Yusa was like, look, that's a bad deal for me. Like if I go there, like I could be swayed by the power. Very self-reflective. I think telling Trent about it is the worst thing they could possibly do. Like, Trent would be like, "Oh, what's this? Can I inject it into someone's arms, please?"
Yeah.
Like,
oh God.
It's gonna be like,
no, but they've already had to dip in to get like the necklaces and stuff. I mean, I don't mean necessarily like they're fully. Yeah, it's just more like all the strings that you can pull, I guess.
They're gonna have to inspect those necklaces. Like,
necklace
of non-detection. What if it's like necklace of non-detection, but a little detection? Like,
yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, they still got a lot to worry about.
It's exciting to think there's stuff still happening in that. And that it's not gonna necessarily completely end unless they all die. That could happen.
Yeah. Very true.
And then we get, a third age and we get campaign 3. But I think that was the end of the episode. That's all that really happened.
Well, thanks everyone for joining. No, that was not the end of the episode. The most important part is yet to happen. But before we get into that, let's look at some fan art.
Yay!
Starting off with Alana's pick for this week. We have some good old Caduceus by @Hans Dampfgas. I don't know how to pronounce their handle, but there it is.
Hans Dampfgas. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, but this is Caduceus' divine intervention. Man, I love the lines on this. They are so crisp and clean. I mean, wait, why not have a Caduceus?
Exactly. Exactly.
Every week. It was just really cool.
And the colors are great too.
Yeah. That whole divine intervention scene was great. Just like calm and then but that person's a really cool artist. I'll link their old handle in the chat.
Please do. Yeah, Caduceus has been coming in clutch with those divine interventions and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Hans Dampf, I think is how you pronounce their name. Don't quote me on that. I apologize, Hans.
I am quoting you on that. Chat, quarter.
Yeah. Oh, they've got such a really cool Ford as well. Okay, I'm gonna post their Twitter handle. Go check it out. Scroll down, check out their Ford with Armor of Agathis. Oh my god. I might pick that next week. It's really cool.
Oh, we love the Caduceus art here.
Yeah.
But moving on to my pick. Surprise. Okay, some of you might be surprised on my pick for fan art this week.
I bet we're not.
It is not. It is not Boyasha related.
What?
It is not. It was an earlier moment where I was dying from laughter, and that is Ford. No, Ford revealing his bare chest to the party by at Gale Fox on Twitter.
Oh my god!
I just like Caleb in the background getting ready to slap that titty.
Oh my god!
It's so good.
The movement of this piece is what really draws my attention.
I just love all of their expressions. Caleb in the background.
Ford like ripping the shirt off and like standing there breathing heavy every time.
Yeah,
the funniest thing.
It's so good.
But yeah, Jester having to do the dispel magic with both hands. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's rock hard pecs.
I didn't.
Oh gosh.
I love Travis. He's so ready to like laugh at himself and like allow his character to be laughed at. I guess.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's a pretty good foil for because he is so competent and he's so good at what he does. But then he is also like, even for like a high charisma character, he's so like I don't know. He's not dumb's not the word because he's not dumb. That's not the word I'm thinking of. But it's just like, oh god, I don't know how to describe him. It's
no, I get what you're saying.
Insinuating that in any way. It's
I get
just
what you're saying. It's so good.
I put my favorite in chat because I didn't give it to you, Nico, but it's Astrid and Caleb dancing, and it's very cool.
Oh, okay. I totally forgot to grab yours.
Evie got it. Travis is a great ham, like a ham actor. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. He just goes for it. Yeah, that's so good. Oh.
I know, shielding her eyes. Yeah. But anyways, I believe it is time to talk to. Yep. No.
How many times can I make this joke?
As many times as I can make the nice joke. There's a person in chat named Nice, and every time I see them, I'm like, it's nice to see you again.
Every time I see Nice in chat, I think I'm misreading Nico. It's like
that's what I thought at first. I was like, wait, it's Nice. So it's nice to have you here. But hey, ladies and gentlemen and non-binaries, we got the Boyasha we have all been waiting for. And it was everything I could have hoped for and more. And I just love as soon as the date began, chat was just spamming. They were like, all right, Liam's the DM now. Like Matt pretty much just sat there for like the rest of the episode.
Matt just like,
Like,
as a DM, it's just like, that's the moment you want. No, you can just kind of sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah. It was great.
The way he introduced it, Caleb, or he's just like, I regret to inform everyone except for Bo and Yasha that we will be sleeping here tonight, and Yasha's like, what? Like what is this? And the hilarious imagery, because then Caleb's like, I push Yasha through the door. I thought for certain Matt was going to make him make a strength check on that.
Oh yeah,
able to push Yasha through the door is hilarious. But no, that was such a great way to start.
And I love how like respectful also the other players are. For, basically, I mean, I wouldn't really calling it hijacking because that sounds like a really negative way to say it, but it was nice that they allowed, two players to have this really awesome, very long scene together. Since it's because it'd be different if it was like if they were just going off on like a shopping spree or whatever, and it didn't really have any meaning. But this scene, this date that they had together is so important for their personal like character arcs. That was just it was nice that they got the spotlight for the time that they did.
And it was like a whole half of the episode, not half, but second bit, because it was only really about like 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah, it really was not that long.
But it was, oh my goodness, it was so well
So
done.
so many wonderful, heartwarming moments.
I wasn't expecting that too. I was expecting it to be an awkward date for laughs.
Yeah.
Then,
I mean, aspects of it were, there were a few 100%. Things, but
But the fact that they talked so much was wonderful.
Yeah.
Talking about how she met Molly and her backstory and how they're feeling and then their feelings for each other. Like, that's the most intense first date I could think of.
Yeah.
But I guess it's the same kind of thing with Jester and Ford. Like, they've been together for so long. They haven't necessarily been in this de facto relationship, but they are so comfortable with each other that they can just talk about those things. And yeah, like I love them talking about Yasha's backstory and talking about kind of her feelings of the Mighty Nine. Yeah, it was beautiful. And then obviously like it was like a date and it was like cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like stuff.
Yeah. I saw somebody mention that it was also like the 100th episode since Molly, and so yeah, and so but also kind of finally somebody talked to Yasha about like fine.
It only took 100 episodes.
Right?
And like that's not any crap on anybody, because I actually think it's kind of perfect, because she's such a kind of she was in and out, and she's quite closed off, and she was mind controlled for a bit, and like lots of things have been happening, but just the fact that that space was given was pretty beautiful, I think.
That was nice too. I liked how Bo asked her, like, you keep coming back to the Mighty Nine and addressing that, and like Yasha talking about how like this is the only family I've got. That was lovely, because I think it was very much obviously it's because it's Ashley Johnson's character and she's going to be at the table and playing D&D with them.
Yeah.
But whenever they would bring Yasha back, it was like them being like, oh yeah, Yasha's just, she's here, or she's joining you again. I think I remember the one when they met up with her Nicodranus. It was kind of like, you see Yasha by a boat, and she's like, oh, hey guys. Like, but to think that she was actually there kind of looking for them is really sweet.
Or the one where they came out of the Happy Fun Ball.
And she's just there. Yeah.
Yeah, but also kind of shitted at them. Like, she's like, you left me. And because the Fun Ball does weird things with time, she's like, you left me for a week. And she was like actually very like scared and upset. Incredible.
Yeah. She wasn't too scared. She didn't have funerals for them, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But no, I was pleasantly, and I don't think I should have been pleasantly surprised, but I was pleasantly surprised about how deep it got, the date. I love that it was the nestled nook. I love that it was like
I loved the field of wildflowers.
I love the dash hounds.
That
was really cute.
Oh, it was so good.
About Bo's home and like that like really, really emotional kind of Bo at her lowest, thinking about walking away from everybody, being the moment that Yasha realized that she loved her because of seeing where she came from.
But we needed that too. We needed that for
incredible
Bo as well. Like,
they've
not properly talked about Bo's feelings in that scene yet. There was a little bit after it when they left Ashana and they were in the dome and they were
what are you doing? That just shows like how like in tune they are with each other. Like they knew what to bring up, what to talk about with the other person. Molly with Yasha, and then home life and stuff with Bo's family and stuff. It was so good.
Also, I think like I know that we, when people are starting and playing D&D, we always go, oh, remember the actors, like don't try and get to that level. I think a lot of the time I just kind of forget, and then things like this happen where the acting, this whole episode, I know we're talking about the date, but there were moments through this whole episode, but like the acting is so fucking incredible, and I feel like privileged kind of to be like watching it, and I'm like this is Ashley Johnson, and I haven't played Last of Us, but like she's like, these are not just voice actors, they're like top of their careers voice actors that happen to have decided to be playing D&D. It's incredible. And like there was a bit of talk earlier in the week, it's a really annoying talk about Ashley and Yasha and the character, and I don't even care, but the thing is that Ashley is much more of a she does a lot of like TV acting. Like she's done a lot more TV acting, so a lot of her acting is actually very in the face and very subtle. Not subtle in her choices, but subtle in like it's all about like expressions and like there was this bit where she was talking and like her voice got all like raggedy when she was talking to Bo during that, and there was just all these. I was just like, this is actually legitimately just incredible acting. And I just remember, Liam talking about, and I think all of them over the time have talked about just like, they're not just sitting there being polite. They're like us. They're sitting back there watching master craftsmen at the top of their field do the thing that they do best, which is act. And yeah, sorry, I just wanted to gush for a bit because it was just 100%. Incredible.
And like the acting, like Marisha and Ashley last night was so, and we talked about Liam earlier, but just it didn't even feel like improv, even though it was. But I think it's just because they know their characters and they know each other's characters so well. It's beyond improv because it's more like, we know how we want to tell this story, let's just do it. Like we know these characters. It's almost like they were, that's acting, like they were the characters. Like it's like, way to go, I just described acting. But like, it's like no, it was incredible. I think the like them talking about Kamorda was beautiful. And I saw in chat someone mentioned like, the fact that like Yasha stood up to Thoreau at the end when they were having that meeting, and so good. It's so good.
It was just so, they were just so like raw and open and vulnerable and honest, and just they felt comfortable talking about this stuff with each other.
And I was listening to the Ashley and I think it was it might have been Ashley and Laura Talks Machina from before the break, and they were talking about romancing in D&D, and I think it might have been that episode, it might have been a later episode, I can't remember. I listened to like 3 Talks Machinas yesterday. They talked about how Ashley was very much like Travis, like unsure of doing romance in D&D, whereas Marisha is quite comfortable with it. Like she's quite comfortable doing romance in a lot of RPGs. Like if you've seen her in anything else, like it's great. It's great. It's really good acting. But she was very much like Travis. Like Travis felt more comfortable building it up slowly with Laura, and I think for Ashley it was like building it up slowly with Marisha was kind of what she needed to feel more comfortable with doing romance in D&D. To the point like you go back and watch like old Pike and like Scanlan scenes, and it wasn't the same kind of romance that sounds shitty, you know what I mean. It wasn't the same kind of romance role play that we got with like say Vax and Keyleth or like Percy and Vex. It was very much almost like sitcom romance. Still as valid, just not as in depth. It wasn't like they were having deep and meaningful so much. So to see Ashley get a chance to like fully like go off on this romance arc is wonderful. As you say, Kira Lee, she's just an incredible actor.
I've been diving in. I've just recently watched all those scenes that you just mentioned because I've been diving into like how Critical Role keep each other like comfortable and safe at the table, especially like role playing PC deaths or like shouting at getting angry at each other, like with Scalen, or like romance. And I think one of the things to remember is, like, when we talk about like Travis or Ashley not being comfortable, it's not like they're not comfortable with it being mentioned, or they're not comfortable with what is happening at the table. Everybody at that table knows what they would be uncomfortable with. That's why that's why we had a fade to, like the steam comes up. We had like a fade to black.
Oh yeah.
So good.
And so
good.
But it's more about they have talked and know each other so well that it's about like it's about like leaning into the things that make you like uncomfortable, but in a good way. So like Ashley, when Bo was organizing the date, and they were talking, Caleb and Marisha were having that backwards and forwards. I think it was because of the Dash Hounds. Ashley was like, I'm so nervous, and then was like, but so excited. And that's kind of the sweet spot. It's like, okay, we're gonna play in this space, but like anytime you want out, anytime, there's just so many things they do. And I think it's they do such a good job, and it's a real privilege to get to watch it.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And this, as someone in chat just mentioned, the I love you from Veritas Delumen, the I love you from Marisha, or from Bo, at the very end of it all. Tying it all together in a wonderful bow.
But no, and that was after the first makeout.
Yeah, right. They had their first kiss and stuff, which was another whole thing where they're like, I just wanna kiss you so bad. That's such like it's such a relatable moment in a relationship where it's like, like there's a mutual like affection here, but it's like, can I kiss you? And it's like,
no, it was great. It's like, okay, cool, we're good. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then just a devouring of each other.
And then ninjas, as you
the wonderful. Oh my gosh, I love
those poor servants.
Those poor servants, but Liam is the best wingman ever, and well, Caleb, and the standards have now been set so high for myself now. If I don't get taken out to a tower date, or if I don't take someone else out on a tower date, what's the point? Yeah. What is the point? Romance has peaked here.
That was intense.
I love Liam mentioning when they were doing, because I felt for sure Matt would get out a map. Like, I felt for sure there'd be an encounter, but there wasn't. It was make-believe. They did that thing that little kids do. They're like, okay, make it there's like there's like ninjas, and make it I'm gonna and it's almost like the D&D I play with like kids, where it's like a lot of the stats don't matter. You're rolling dice for the sake of rolling dice. That you hit, it's dead. Don't worry about hit points. Like,
Bo and Yasha were role playing. Like,
it was adorable. Yeah. It was so good.
It was really sweet. Adorable.
And I love how YB mentions the Bo calling Yasha babe, then like right after their kiss and stuff, immediately claiming her as babe. So, but I love them being super extra with their flourishes and their fighting, impressing each other. Yasha's fake feint. So good.
With her calling her babe, I have seen some talk on Twitter, and I think it's great, and actually some really good TikToks of like queer women being like, you don't have to call us out so hard on how like accurate this is at depicting like the awkwardness, the panic.
Kiss once and immediately the babes, and
kiss once and and then I was talking to somebody and I was like, but then isn't there like isn't there like a time of incredible long distance? Have they already had the like long distance queer female relationship because like she's been away, or is that coming? And anyway, no, don't say that.
Oh gosh.
It's okay because eventually they move in together very, very soon, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But it's just it's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And I definitely appreciated how Matt bent the rules during this whole scene, because who cares, right?
Yeah.
They're on a date. This is all for fun. This is low stakes. Nothing's really going on. They can have some fun. They can have some fun.
Caleb describing like what's happening in his tower, and I think Matt's a bit just like, but it's fun. It's cool.
Yeah, the wings stayed out for a pretty long time. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
But I mean, like, if you think about it, like thematically, it would kind of make sense. Like in this moment, her wings staying out for this extended period of time, because it's like this is a new beginning for Yasha. This is her wings signal the new beginning. Them staying for a bit longer. As KB says, that's the power of love. The wings, the wings were there.
Make it make sense. But in the end, it's hot, and Marisha has a type.
Oh,
so
yeah.
What you gonna do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, God. Just... I need to rewatch that whole scene many, many, many times over. I need that whole scene animated. Animatic.
I think it almost certainly will. There'll be a lot of art, a lot of animatics, a lot of edits of it.
I saw somebody had already made an animatic of like a little animation of Artigan slapping Ford. Like that was when I woke up this morning. Like
people are fast.
It had been already up for a couple of hours, and I get that like, a line animation may not be like I don't know anything, so I get that it's probably not as hard as I think it is, but artists are actually wizards, and I don't even know what to do about that.
Yeah.
They're so fast. So fast. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, that's it was so good. It finally happened. It
finally happened. 126 episodes, that's how long it took. But it was so worth it. It was so worth it.
There was a slight fear that it might not have happened.
I know, I was worried because they're like, oh, they kind of want to go. But Liam really wanted it to happen. Because there was the whole talk of like, oh, well, should we go to Caduceus' grove and stuff? But Liam was like, Caduceus was like, oh, well, we'll leave it up to you, Caleb. And like, Caleb's like, yeah, let's stay here. Yeah, let's stay here. Yeah, let's just stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so happy. But yeah, I was definitely worried. I was definitely worried that we were gonna miss it, and I was gonna have to put on my clown makeup again.
Yeah. I think even Marisha was like, oh, we're doing it tonight? Or Bo was like, we're doing it tonight? What? Like, they could have easily had been like, all right, let's go to sleep. Let's go to let's talk to Astrid in the morning. Let's go to Nicodranus. But I think Liam was very much just like, no, we can't wait any longer. This has to happen. Yeah. Oh
I think Marisha like tweeted about that, the Critical Role was on. She tweeted like a picture of her dog or something. And I know there are people who very carefully track like who tweets before a game and who doesn't. And like Marisha, like Critical Role, tweets, and Matt always tweets, but the other players don't necessarily always do it. And Marisha doesn't. She just doesn't. And so somebody was like, something's up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
Oh my goodness.
It's the meta. It's the meta, Alana. It's good.
No, I agree. I think it's wonderful. I can't do it. Like, yeah.
But Lemon Lime brings up a wonderful point, in that we needed this beautiful scene after all of the just L's, the fat L's that the party have been taking recently.
Yeah, but it's true because it reiterates so much of what's important to this campaign.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about how it's a great campaign. We talk about how they've been betrayed and they've been mistrustful. But at the end of it, the most important part is the fact that the Mighty Nine are like a group of vagabonds that came together as this family, and that's the most important part. It's the most distinctive difference between them and Vox Machina, the fact that, like, even though Vox Machina was also a found family and Mighty Nine is a found family, they were all such fuck ups, and they came together and they are family together, bringing it back to that central theme of, you know, we're doing it, but we're doing it together, and doing it in such a sweet way and fun and lighthearted way, so that it's not so much a slog.
But then
you're right though, because Vox Machina almost already had a name. Like they got to be heroes, actual heroes, where they would walk in somewhere, like during the campaign, they would walk in somewhere and people would know, and they were at like council meetings and all these kinds of things. These guys are like, they're literally in what's like the capital of like where they should belong. And they're still like, they're literally sleeping all on the floor in a crappy...
For level 14s to be unknown in terms of like being a mercenary group is pretty ridiculous, and because they give their name out everywhere they go, like people know about them. But
you would think.
I've talked about that before, how like Vox Machina were kind of like small little social groups in the one big social group, whereas the Mighty Nine feels like it's just one big cohesive. But yeah. Ha! Rishi, that's amazing. Vox Machina are the Avengers, Mighty Nine are the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my gosh. That is perfect.
That's really cool. I like that.
That's kind of beautiful. Yeah. That's nice.
That's so good. That's so good. But this sadly is probably going to be our last like nice, calm, heartwarming moment for a while. I can imagine. Because they're going to be getting into some shit.
We're going to have goodbyes. We're going to have like Jester and Veth going to Nicodranas and essentially saying goodbye to...
Yeah. Oh, I guess they are going to be stopping at Nicodranas, so we'll probably have a little bit more there, but then after that.
But I think they're not going to like mess around too much there because they've done their shopping. I think that stop is just for them to say goodbye to their families, which is heartbreaking.
Yeah, because again, like, as they have talked about it before, like, this could be the last time they say goodbye to their family because they could die.
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like at least one of them, either Jester to her mother or Veth to Yeza, aren't going to say goodbye. They're not going to let on. I feel like Jester might not, because could you imagine Marion's reaction? She's not going to let her go. She's just straight up not going to let her leave. So. Jester said she won't actually say goodbye. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's too strong. I want Ford to talk to Marion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know what Veth's going to do. Far out.
Oof.
Well, I think Yeza is okay with, has come to terms with Veth.
But there's like adventuring, and then there's probably I will die. Like,
true.
Or like be lost in the astral sea. It's like, I agree. She's like, that's her sort of her job, and that's the way that works. But this is like, feels a lot more potentially final.
Oh God.
But then also, if she doesn't, then there isn't really a planet anymore. So
I just had the worst thought seeing the gentleman's name thrown in there. Imagine the gentleman that Ruby C joining the fight. That's not what I was thinking about. But what if Jester is the one that dies, and Jester dying is what brings the gentleman and Marion back together, so they can, comfort each other in the death of their child.
Why do you do this? Why do you hate us, Nico? Why?
Well, Eric, go watch him. Yep. I'll see my way out. I think you guys can take over the rest of the podcast for the night. I think I am being banned from my own stream.
Literally,
I'm being removed.
I don't think we'll be lucky enough to get out of this without somebody. potentially. At least needing a resurrection.
I'm not thinking Jester. I'm thinking someone else is gonna die. But
no, I think like the prime candidates, especially after this episode, I feel like the prime candidates for dying is between Ford and Yasha. But Yasha is kind of indestructible. But
she can't be killed.
Yeah.
No, I think she could do that thing that Marisha's other in D&D partner did where you aren't dead, but you're beyond, like...
Yes. I could see her doing something like that.
I'm not sure if that's the Stormlord's deal, though. I'm not sure if he's gone out making...
It better bloody well not be. Better not
be. That's a Raven Queen kind of thing to be like...
I don't know, but maybe she won't die. Maybe she won't die, but Yasha was talking about not knowing what her purpose is. What if, and the Stormlord claimed her as his avatar, so what if, like, her endgame is serving the Stormlord at his side, protecting people under his gaze, or something like that.
Like a white lighter on Charmed, Nico.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
She would say that her, like, she thinks, like, what she needs to do is protect, which makes sense, that she's now a protector, Azumar. But... I don't know. I don't think that's the Stormlord's deal again. I think he's very much like, you serve me, you die, great, you died in battle sort of thing. Like, I don't see him as the type to be resurrecting or reinventing.
No, but she's like she's not like a human though. So she's already, but she's already sort of a bit divine. So what if she's like the type of divine where she ends up going beyond the divine gate kind of thing? Like,
I'm not sure. I'm not sold on that one. I think Bo's gonna die.
Any of these things? Oh no.
But Bo could.
Gonna die. Bo could. She's up close. She doesn't have magic to necessarily escape herself. She often needs like assistance to escape. And it would suck the most if Lucian kills her.
Oh, God.
Oh dear.
But now, are we talking about? So we're just talking about like them just like dying and then potentially being resurrected, right? Or are we thinking like permadeath? So I think it's super easy for anyone to die, but then also just get resurrected right afterwards.
I'm gonna say resurrected because I want some rituals. But at the same time, if they need to run, they need to run.
Yeah.
Bo doesn't have any like divine connection. It's not like she's got a god kind of looking out.
Well, Ayun, maybe.
Ayun's too busy reading books. Like, and he's like, I twisted my ankle again. Like, no, Ayun's not getting involved. Oh God.
The angst if Caleb dies. Oh.
Really, this is what we do at the end of every episode.
Yeah, this is.
No, I hate it.
Caleb would be the most unsatisfying death at this point because we've got the whole Cerberus Assembly.
That's true.
Be the same without Caleb.
That's true. Like Caleb's arc is like the least we've gone into it.
I almost said that's what I want. Essek dying would be fucking good.
Yes, while I would never want Essek to die, I think Essek's death would be very, very good for the story.
For the drama.
For the drama. For the drama. The angst.
Do it for the drama.
Okay, what about just like Astrid dying, but in a way where she like sacrifices herself for the thing? No. You guys just want to be hurt.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I want to feel pain. I want to be pained.
Oh no. No. So upsetting. But yeah, no, it's true. It's all good. The drama is good.
Yeah, we want the pain, we want the drama. We want
It's good. Like, the lows make for such good storytelling. Because then, like, the build-up from that is that much more satisfying. Oh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, on those lovely notes, do we have any other thoughts, feelings, emotions about this episode?
I have one. this is kind of a bit meta, but chat got wild this episode. People had to. Matt jumped in.
I saw the discourse on
Brian
Twitter.
Jumped in. I think Lauren jumped in, but I didn't see. I do not look at chat. I went and looked.
Neither do I.
Because I went and looked because I wanted to get those clips of them jumping in. I do want to say though that often when chat is wild, people go, "Oh, chat, it's so toxic," which it is. But there are mods that work really, really hard to make it like to keep out like the hate speech and other like bullshit in chat. And really, it's like 80% okay. And I did want to say that if like you're new to the community and you don't have a subscription, the way that I first ever got my first ever Twitch subscription was I was hanging out. I just like put an emote. I wasn't even writing things. I was just like fiddling because I didn't know how Twitch worked. And somebody gifted me like a huge, like a 6-month subscription or something, just random. Geez. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot in the Twitch chat. Like every week, people are gifting subs, and that when I didn't even really work it out until I worked out. I went back and I don't know, something happened, and I worked out I was actually watching the VOD, not the actual show. Something happened. I was like, how am I doing this? And then I was like, oh, somebody gave me a sub. That's incredible. So I don't know. It's not a great place because and there are lots of people there who should be looking after themselves. And if they're, say, uncomfortable with something that's happening on screen, they should just dip out instead of voicing that a lot in the chat. I won't go into it, but I do want to say, like, there are some incredible people, and I did get critters like for ages. For that 6 months went away and I still didn't have money to subscribe. I subscribe now. I didn't have money to subscribe. Somebody gifted me something else. Like, it's wild.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So, you know, I don't look at it. I wouldn't suggest anyone else looked at it, but you know, there are people who work really hard to try and make it not terrible.
I don't understand the Twitch chat at all. Like, I don't understand the appeal of it. I don't understand why people engage with it. Not because it's there's some toxic people or there's people being like, you know, this is how you should play the game. I can't keep up with it. Like, how do people get meaningful information from it? That's my problem with chat.
I was thinking, you know, in like X-Men kind of movies or any movie where somebody gets telepathy.
I do know the X-Men movies.
Okay.
Yes, let's talk about
but you know where people get like telepathy and they go through that part of learning how to use their abilities where it becomes overwhelming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so they're like reaching out, and then suddenly it's like, firstly it's like people saying they love each other, and then it's like suddenly they get into people's deepest, darkest inner thoughts and they can't shut it off. That's how I feel chat. That's what I feel like chat is. It's like people's pure inner thoughts about the show just running down constantly, and there are people trained in how to deal with that and have got, you know, the right headgear to sort of deal with that. It's not me.
No. I'm seeing in our wonderful, beautiful chat. I'm seeing that people are saying like, they don't bother with it either. I'm the same. Like, I can't really watch live right now, but when I do watch live, for me it's like maybe the Reddit thread, which is sometimes a bit. It's pretty good. The Reddit thread's generally pretty good. You might have one or two people that ruin it, but live tweeting is generally the way. I love you like find a few people that are like-minded and just have like some fun with that. Because that's or Discord. I know like Discord, but that's also too. I see the CR live Discord. When the episode's going in, it's mile a minute. Same thing as well.
It's so fast.
I think that's a bit harder to moderate as well. So, but either way, Find a nice, safe, comfortable place for you. One that you like, one that's positive, and one that's not saying find an echo chamber, but at the same time find a place that's safe and a place that's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. We're watching a D&D show, guys. It's meant to be fun.
Yeah, exactly. Just enjoy it, please.
I agree so much because I've been talking so much about safety in D&D, and my friend that I watch Critical Role with, Sarah, who like commented under one of my YouTube videos one day saying she didn't have anyone to watch with, and I was like, neither do I. And now we like Zoom and watch it. She's in Florida. It's very cute. Anyway, she said, you should tell people to get a buddy, like how we have found a buddy. And it's true, like you said, either like specific live tweeting people, or just even this is like, this is healthy and helpful. You need to look after yourself. Talking about really intense things. Romance is an intense thing, but like betrayal and PC character death, and like, well, Caleb's whole backstory is like hurting children. That's awful. So like, it is good to find somebody that you can like, like Alana said, like somebody you can be safe with, somebody you can like externally process, get excited, get worried, because having that, just as a off the top of your head flow on Twitch chat, not gonna help you or anybody.
Yeah, and especially when the majority of the Twitch chat is just saying the same thing. Like, it's no, 100% agree. You don't go to the movies to get into an argument. Like, yeah, it was good discussion.
Lemon Lime, you're on the Widow Jest server? So am I. Would you look at that? Have I made a Discord server yet? I have not, but I should.
How did you not talk about the Widow Jest moment of him staring at Jester while they were dancing then, Nico?
There's just too much.
That's a crumb. Surely that was a moment.
It was a moment. It was a moment. But there's more pressing things to worry about. My head was just in Boyasha mode that night.
Fair.
I didn't have the mental space for another ship that evening.
Oh my god.
It was only Boyasha. Oh my god. But that was wonderful. Do we have any other closing thoughts on the episode?
I don't know.
No. I mean, it's all linked to Tharizdun. That's all we have to say.
They're just doing some things, creepy shit. It is what it is.
I do remember Lemon Lime. I do remember now. Yeah, I am excited for what's to come. I'm happy that we'll get a little bit of Nicodranus next episode, but then it's right back into the thick of things. Right
and
back into it.
And they're still gonna teleport back to Isle.
And they still and they're still gonna be meeting with the Bright Queen, I think? There's still so much.
Yeah. Oh my god.
There's so much.
Oh my god.
But all of that and more next week. So I suppose, with all of that being said, we can go ahead and wrap up this episode. As always, thank you all so much for joining us today for this discussion. Everyone in chat, it's been a pleasure. Everyone who's going to be watching this on YouTube, when it gets uploaded on Spotify, on Anchor, or wherever else this podcast may find itself, we all appreciate you so much. Oh, Yasha stands. We have been seen. We have been fed. And I am so happy. And there's more to come. There is more to come. Alana, there is no Hit Dice Heroes this weekend.
Correct. Yes. So sorry about that, guys. No Hit Dice Heroes this weekend. Just check out our Twitter, and we'll post when the next episode's going to be. But yeah, plenty of time to go back and watch old episodes.
Heck yeah.
Go do that.
Catch up, so you can watch us live. We're getting into some. Exactly. We're getting it. Fight. We're in a fight club. We're doing a fight club.
I can't wait for the fight club.
Thing. It's gonna be so great. Good. It's gonna be great. So
maybe you guys might not even fight.
Oh yeah, true. Might be nothing.
It has to happen.
Might be nothing. Yeah. But again, thank you all so much for being here. We really do appreciate spending this time with you guys and getting to chat about our shared passion. Yeah. We hope you have. Don't forget to love each other. Please do not forget to love each other and love yourself. Most importantly, never forget that. But I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you may be on this wonderful earth. And we will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.